Travel Heritage Hill Studios. I am here with Jeff Traylor, the head coach of the UTSA Roadrunners. Coach, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Doing very well. Now, I got to sit in with you last year for the first time to get to speak with you, and there's been a lot of respect, in my opinion, from the outside looking in of the program. There's been a lot of hope and respect for UTSA coming into the American. Have you felt that there's a high expectation for this program?
Yeah, we're proud of it. I mean, the last 4 years, and we talked to our team about it, like they're not really getting picked on what they've done because they haven't done anything yet. They're getting picked off the last 4 years, and in the last 4 years, we're 29-4 in conference.
Yeah.
We've won 2 conference championships. We're 27-3 at home. We've played till the very last week for the championship. Every year we've been here. Twice we didn't get to the championship game, but twice we did. But we were playing for it, and we're proud of that. But again, I'm repeating, that's nothing this year's team's done. That's what the last 4 years have done, and that's why we're picked so high again. It sure beats where we were the first year, where we had nobody picked on the preseason all-conference team, and we were picked last or next to last in the polls.
When you look at what this road has been like for you at UTSA, there's a lot of, in this realignment in every single year, the poaching of coaches and wanting coaches to move to the quote-unquote power and so on and so forth. Why have you stayed so committed to UTSA and Lisa Campos, and why has this been the place for you?
It starts with the city. I just believe that the city of San Antonio is uniquely different. I think our potential is unlimited just because we've only been playing football 13 years. I want you to think about that in comparison to some of these storied programs we're going against. My oldest football, alumni is probably 31, 32 years old. I mean, so that's just it's a remarkable story. Dr. Campos and I have a shared vision of what the student athlete should be like. We see that we're uniquely aligned in that. Our president has continued to invest in our program, and our board of regents has at UTSA, and our boosters, quite frankly, and our fans. I mean, our games are really, really exciting to play, especially on a Saturday. It's tough on us in Texas when we play on Fridays because Friday Night Lights is a real thing in our state.
Yeah.
And our fans are going to go support their high school on Friday nights. But when you play us on a Saturday, our place is rocking, and it's a really great place to be. So all those factors have, made me feel very loyal to that place. And I would say the loyalty has been given to me as well as me back to them.
We heard from Tim Pernetti, the new commissioner of the American Athletic Conference, and he mentioned Lisa Campos and said the future commissioner of the AAC. What do you think about his respect for her leadership?
Well, she's just a unique lady. She's a very, very humble, kind person to start with. She has a servant's mindset, and I think people just see that, and it's just refreshing in college football to see someone that's so grounded and about the student athlete, and that's what people see, and that's what I've worked with, which is amazing. We're going on 5 years together now.
You and I last year talked about the importance of family and how much you value that and how it goes far beyond, and even at dinner last year, just kind of extending and speaking on stories of your family, just what you can say about how paramount that is in a world where we're talking about money so much and about what people can get and this, that, and the third when it comes to materials, that we keep relationships at the forefront.
I think it's helped me tremendously. I can remember when I started coaching many, many years ago, people telling me it'll change when you have children. I'm like, what do they know, right? Then I had kids,
Yeah.
and it changed me. But then when I started teaching my children and coaching my children, well, now my children are, I've got a 31-year-old, I've got a 27-year-old, I've got a 24-year-old. And you just see the world differently. And when I coach my players, we talk often about my own personal children because it's experiences I've gone through. I kind of know what my student athletes are thinking because my own children tell me how crazy their father is at times. And, so I know what my own players are thinking about me and some of my old school philosophies and things that children or young men, young ladies don't see the world maybe the way we do for guys that have raised 3 children.
For you, when you look at that family and the extension of that, we look at the transfer portal and NIL, those relationships that have always been so paramount and important to you, what can you say about how UTSA has been affected or not affected when it comes to NIL and the transfer portal, looking at the importance of building a relationship with a kid and not just simply trying to buy a player?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we've lost 3 players in 4 years, and those always hurt. We miss those guys, but we're excited for them. But we've also picked up probably 30 players in those 4 years. So I think it's very hypocritical for just to stay on the negative.
Yeah.
Does it strain the relationships? Possibly some, because you're always doing some of that. Yeah, I would say that strains it would be a way that, but it also makes it a tighter relationship in the end because of all the things you had to do to keep the young man or talk him through some things. And I don't want them to stay if they don't want to play for me. I don't want them to come play for us when we're recruiting. I tell them all the time when I'm recruiting them, I'm not going to beg you. I'm not going to do the crazy things that maybe some of these guys will do. Yeah. I believe like-minded people surround themselves with like-minded people. And I think our players sense a difference about me and our staff and how we treat them. And like today, we've got Jamal Liggins and Oscar Cardenas here. Those guys have started probably every game for me in my coaching career. They could have gotten in the transfer portal and made way more money going to other schools. Do they make decent money at UTSA? Yes, they do. But they're making a fraction of what they would make at other places. They've never asked me for a dime. They've never asked for a raise. They're just loyal soldiers. And it was the same with Wisdom and Harris before them. And I just think that can't be lost in this. There are many, many stories of guys that are doing the right thing. For some reason, we want to paint this as the wrong thing for the 3 that left, and I don't think that's fair. We're the ones, the adults, that have put these kids in these decisions. The kids didn't do this, the adults did.
So as you look forward here and we look at this season specifically, when you look at that leadership, you said you have loyal soldiers that are here with you representing UTSA. To expand and look at offense, defense, and special teams as a whole, who are some of those leaders that you trust on the field this season to spread your message in that continuity?
Yeah, well, offensively, we've got, even though our quarterback's going to be different, both those guys have played last year because Frank was hurt last year a lot. So Eddie and Owen both command respect. Obviously, Oscar back at tight end. We've got a lineman back that we feel good about. We have Corey back at right guard. We've got Venley back who started for us. We've got Luke Lopez back who started. We've got, our receiving core. Now, we did lose a great one in Josh Cephas. I mean, he's with the Jaguars right now.
I'm a Jaguar fan, by the way, so I'm very happy when I saw his name come.
Yeah, our running back room's all back. Kavorian and Robert and Rocco. And we've added some young talent there as well. So receivers, Amador's back, McEwen's back, Willie McCoy's back. We feel good about our team. We know who we are. We know who we've got to replace, but we feel good about our team.
So before we get into rapid fire, where you get to ask some questions as a coach, which typically never happens, for this conference, the leadership, I know that UTSA has been in it such a short amount of time, but you obviously spent time with Mike Aresco, and now we have Tim Pernetti. What can you say about the leadership of Mike Aresco, who helped with his staff to bring UTSA into the American and saw the value in you, and then Tim Pernetti as well?
Yeah, Mike was just such a fireball and had such passion for this league.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just a breath of fresh air when I got to meet Mike because his strong belief in this brand and the work they had done before we were allowed to come in with them. In passing the torch to Tim, when he met with Dr. Campos and I at UTSA, I told her when he left, I had hope. like I really felt like we had hope. He has a great vision for some possibilities of working with entities that, obviously I would not understand that world, but he understands it very well. I'll stay in my lane and coach the football team and let Tim and Dr. Campos handle all that. But I told her, it was an exact quote to her when he walked out was, I feel hope. And I think he understands where the new world is going in college football. And he's going to be a great voice and a leader, for our league.
Well, let's jump into rapid fire. You get the opportunity to ask me literally anything, football or life related, and we'll go back and forth for a couple. So you get to ask the first question.
Do you read?
I'm starting to do it more because I have too many books that I have in my house that I want to read. One of them is actually Billy Crystal, Still Fooling Them, and I'm finishing that. But I have coaches handing me books now. So my question, go ahead.
Best book you've ever read?
Oh, man. This might sound very cliche, but I do a thing with reading. I have a strong faith. So I have, I'll do this piece with the Bible where I'll just open it up to a random page and try to find something in there that I can learn and grow from and then implement. So I've been doing that more often now. And, I would say probably my connection to that at the moment. And then I like comedy stuff, so I would say
What would you do if you were doing a Bible devotion with your wife and we write our thoughts in our devotion to each other, but the husband has done 100% of his and she's only done half of hers? How would you handle that situation?
I think that I think God knows what you've done. God knows what she's done. So I don't think you have to do much. I think
shaming her on the radio probably not a good idea.
No.
In front of my boss, who's going to tell her.
Yeah. I mean, the best thing that I can say is I'm sure that in all the work that you've done, she's equaled you somewhere else and deserves to be respected.
Now I'm going to brag on her. Today is the first morning she beat me to getting it done. So okay. I'm proud of her. We're getting somewhere.
Okay. My question back to you is, if you had to write a book about everything that you've learned, what would you call it?
Probably serving. I just know the greatest joy in my life is when I take care of people. And that's to teach people to serve. And I'm not sure you can serve if you don't have a proper relationship with some spirituality. And I'm not trying to shove my spirituality down anybody's throat, but I don't know that it's possible to truly serve until you serve.
I like that answer. What's your next question?
Who's the team you watch on Saturdays and cheer for in college football?
That's tough, but I mean, my hometown my whole life, I'm from Syracuse, New York. So I have to shout out my hometown, but I will say that it's increasingly difficult to just pick a place when you get to know people like yourself and you get to know people like Dr. Campos, and when you have a logo like the Roadrunner that she knows that I love. So I am known for being in New York and rocking the Roadrunner. So I don't know what Syracuse fans think of that, but I'm absolutely doing it. You still have orange, so that does fit me as well.
Would you say the Roadrunner says meet or beat?
Oh, man. I would say meet me.
You're on it. Let's go. You're a real fan. You're a real fan.
So I would say back to you, Coach. Great. So in San Antonio, I've talked with Dr. Campos about food. What is the best, like your go-to, if you had to go somewhere for the rest of your life and eat there every day, where would you go in San Antonio?
Yeah, well, first let me just put a disclaimer out there that I'm going to have a breakfast taco at breakfast, a breakfast taco at lunch, a breakfast taco at dinner. Okay. Anybody that's serving breakfast tacos, I'm in. Fast food's good with me. There's amazing. I know I'm not answering your question because I'm not going to give one answer. There's just too many of them I go to, honestly, and I wouldn't want any of them mad at me. It's crazy. There's holes in the wall places that you've never heard of. Yeah. There's some that, just fast food places, their breakfast tacos are all clutch. And I've got children in New York. I've got children in New Orleans. you can't get a good breakfast taco like in San Antonio.
I will tell you, in Florida, I do have a place for you, though.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I got a place for you down in Florida. What's your last question for me, Coach?
I had one, and I just forgot what it was. I had a really good one, too.
We talked about books. We talked about Sounds of a Roadrunner. So,
Yeah. I'm pretty much tapped out right now. I had a great question. I'm mad I lost it. So
okay.
I guess I'm surrendering.
I'll hit you with this one then. If you and I were going to star in a television
You're
show.
good at this. You're way better at this than me.
If you and I were going to star in a television show, where would we be? So pick our city and pick our profession, what you and I would be doing.
So easy.
Okay.
Friday Night Lights.
Okay.
Gilmer, Texas. I'm Coach Taylor in the movie or the show, and I'm ready to roll.
Okay, what's my job? What am I doing?
You know, I'd want to be Kyle Chandler because he's so handsome, right? He has hair, and he's cool. He lives in Dripping Springs. I'd want you to be my booster, that no matter what I needed, when Dr. Compost told me no again for my 1 millionth request, that I could just call you and go, Dr. Compost, he's writing the check. We can have that 18th uniform combo that you want. That'd be what I want you to do. Could you do that?
Hey, on the TV show, sure. Why not? So I think it's very funny, though, that Dr. Compost is right off camera, and you felt comfortable saying that and calling your wife out about devotional.
Those are the two women I work for. Let's don't kid yourself. I'm serving both of them at all times.
Fair enough. UTSA.
Now, both of them would say the very opposite. Both of them would say they have to take care of me at all times.
Well, it seems like the back and forth at the school as well as in your home seems to be going well. The relationships seem to be giving back and forth.
They're the best. They're the best. They're still putting up with me. Here's my last question. I know what it was now.
Okay. Yeah.
When she has to fire me one day, do you see any future in me doing this type of work, or is ball all I've got?
I will say this to you. You came into this conversation very serious face, which is different because I had dinner with you last year and I was listening to all your stories and your emotion and whatnot. You were very serious this morning, but you loosened up, you smiled, and you gave me some things here. So I think we can work with you on getting you in the broadcasting world. I think if you allow me to help you, I think we can do
My
this.
daughter says I have a resting bee face at all times. So I need you to, I've got some good friends that will see me do TV live. Yeah. And they'll say muskrat to remind me to smile instead of just saying smile, coach. So we might need a code word to tell me when to smile.
I can say that being around you last year and seeing your personality, I was surprised that you were so serious this morning.
Yeah.
So
it might be I'm just tired. I've been at Texas High School Coach Association the last 2 mornings and flew in last night, so I'll try to wake up.
Well, did you fly in and have your luggage with you? Because if you did, then you're one up on me. My luggage is still in Detroit 3 days later.
Oh, bless your heart.
Oh, yeah.
That would be.
I had to buy all new things.
I'm not a real trusting person. I'm a real control freak.
Yeah.
I don't care if I'm going on a 10-day trip. I'm getting it all in my bag, and I'm carrying it on the plane.
I learned my lesson. Now this is the second time that I've had some type of experience. So.
Yeah, sorry you're going through that.
That's okay. Jeff Traylor here, the head coach of the UTSA Roadrunners, going into the 2024-25 season. Coach, it is my absolute pleasure.
Same, brother. Same. Thank you.
Appreciate you.